Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing well. It's Saturday night, and wow, what a whirlwind of a week it was for me and my family. It started Monday night. As you may all know, my mom is awaiting a lung transplant. So after 40 years of smoking, um, it deteriorated her lungs to a point where she is on oxygen 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. She has to sleep with a machine at night to expel CO2 gases. She's on numerous steroids, blood pressure medication, and her quality of life is just very, very, very limited. And my mom has always been someone who was up at 6 a.m. and went all day, worked all day, and went all day until 2 o'clock in the morning. She was always very active, and over the years, she's just become very inactive because of the illness, and she is what's called end stage COPD. So it's your final stage of the disease. But, you know, yes, at any point something could go wrong, and Lord forbid we could lose my mom. But she's a fighter, and she's got good genetics in her family. People on her side of the family have lived well into their 80s and 90s, even with serious medical conditions. So, about a year ago, a little over a year ago, I began the process for my mom to have this lung transplant. I contacted New York Presbyterian Columbia Hospital in New York City and had them send her a package. They sent her a package about the transplants, the lung transplants that they do, and she sent it back, and it all began. For about 6 months, she was put through the ringer with every test imaginable, from head to toe, and because they don't want to transplant a lung into somebody who may have cancer or to somebody who may have diabetes or someone with a comorbidity, because what sense is giving you a lung if you're going to have to fight off that cancer or fight hard with that diabetes? You're not going to get the full benefit of a transplant if you're also dealing with a comorbidity. So luckily in my mom's case, they found no comorbidities. Her heart is fine, no cancers. It's just her lungs. So they put her on the transplant list on July 6th. So it's been almost, 3 months now. And they called Monday night. They first called my mom's house, but she was in the bathroom. And then they called her cell phone, and they couldn't get her there. And then they called me, and they said, we have lungs for your mom, but she's going to be backup. So they called the primary person that was going to receive the lungs, and then they called my mom as backup in case the primary gets to the hospital and the primary is ill or sick, or maybe the donor lungs, maybe the donor lung wound up only having one good lung. So the primary person may need two, and my mom can use one lung. And yes, you can live with one lung and have a great survival rate. But some people do need two. So in the case of this scenario, the primary person may have needed two. They called my mom as backup in case, one, the primary person is sick and can't receive the transplant, or two, the donor has just one lung that can be used and my mom can have two or one, whichever is available. So we got there they called us at midnight. We got there at 2:45 in the morning. They admitted us immediately into a room, and a room in the hospital, and they began an IV in my mom. They took tons of blood, x-rays, doctors were in talking to her, the anesthesiologist. They were measuring her urine sample and taking her temperature frequently and her blood pressure. And then around 9:30 in the morning, so mind you, we got there at about 3 o'clock in the morning. At 9:30 in the morning, she was completely prepped for the OR. And they wheeled her and the other woman, who was primary, down to the operating room waiting area, and which is literally feet outside the operating room doors. Well, what happens is, once the lungs are harvested, they come back to the hospital, and the lung surgeon inspects them thoroughly. And a lot of times there may be a bruise on the lung, or something about the lung that just is not healthy. So they're not going to put in a bruised lung or an unhealthy lung into my mom, because what they say is garbage in, garbage out. If you get a garbage lung, you're not going to benefit from it, and it's very likely that your body will reject it immediately. It's already, you're already putting a something foreign into your body. Your body is automatically going to reject it. But if it's a sick lung or an unhealthy lung, it's going to make it even worse. So, anyways, the surgeon came out and said, I'm sorry, but the lungs are not good, and we need to cancel the surgery. So it was kind of disappointing, because my mom was really, feet away from having her second shot at life and being able to breathe again. And but it was also explained to us that this could happen, that this was a possibility, and they drilled this into our head several times. They call these dry runs. So this was a dry run, and like they said, I want good lungs. My mom wants good lungs. The surgeon wants to put in good lungs that my mom will be able to benefit from and live a long time with. So they were just doing due diligence, and they have a very good survival rate at the hospital. It's 94% of patients who are transplanted with lungs do live within the year. Drops down to like 90% for a 2-year survival rate, but people with lung transplants can live many years. People can live, 10, 20 years with a transplant. So, given my mom's good genetics and, the strong person that she is, then, I and my family feel that she'll really benefit and live a long time. And basically it will be a second chance at life for her. And I can't wait to see that surgery happen and see my mom wake up with no oxygen and be able to do the things she once could again. But anyways, that was part of my week, and I won't keep you too long. I'll try to keep my videos short from now on, but I just want to update you on that, and I will update you again soon. Alright, take care and be well, my friends.